Non. Vie.
I was thinking about John Prine, and
Okay.
he was a friend for many, many years. And I met him when he first came to Nashville through Philip Donnelly, guitar player from Ireland, my friend forever. R.I.P. both of those guys. And but John and he had a cabin when he first came to Nashville, a cabin out on the way to the what was that Natchez Trace Parkway. Yeah, and that place where you get biscuits there is.
Oh, it's beautiful there.
Oh, it is beautiful. But he had a cabin. We passed it. I always say something. I said John's old cabin. But he married his bass player, Rachel Peer, and then he eventually got him a place in town in Nashville, and he and I wrote some songs together, "Slow Boat to China" and "Silent Night All Day Long." That's a real John Prine. But there was a song that just every time I think about him, it was this song that he wrote, and it's called "The Oldest Baby in the World." And there was a photograph of the woman. I believe she lives here in Austin, and she has that thing where she gets real old real fast, and the lyrics on this were just beautiful. So, she's got the mind of a child, a body peeking over the hill. She would if she could, and she should, but nobody will. With her nails painted red and her hair so unnaturally curled, I guess she just may be the oldest baby in the world. So, fast horses win races, royal flushes beat aces, and everyone's playing for keeps. So let's go for a ride and rock that old baby to sleep. I just go, wow, that is so beautiful. I remember sitting in his front room and him singing me that song. When I think of him and all the great songs that he wrote and that we wrote together, and the great time we spent together, every time I think of John Prine, the oldest baby in the world comes to mind. I don't know why that is, but even when I'm flipping through something and I see a photo of him, I think about that very song.
Well, how much time did you actually spend together, the two of you?
A lot. I mean, because I was living in Nashville. We did a lot of hanging out. We had mutual friends in Roger Cook and Jack Clement, Cowboy, at Cowboy Studios. So, it was kind of like a little clique, and we were all together, and John was a part of it.
Right.
Roger, Ralph Murphy, John Prine, me, so it was like Philip Donnelly and other writers, and then Philip played guitar with John from time to time.
So this was the very early days of
very early days in Nashville when we all went up there and things kind of started changing,
And you said he used to be a postman.
He did. In Chicago, he delivered the mail. Walked. That's where he's from. He walked the route, and putting every house to house. Yeah, he sure was. And oh wow, legend of Sam Stone. There's a hole in Daddy's arm, that's where the money goes. Jesus Christ, he died for nothing, I suppose. Little pictures have big ears, don't start to count the years. Old songs don't last so long, broken radios. I mean,
Pause for a moment. Yes.
yeah,
She has to go out.
back.
So I guess your relationship sort of sort of faded away a little bit because you left Nashville. Is that true? Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened?
Well, that happens in wherever you are. You know, the friendship doesn't fade. But the communication on a daily basis, or weekly basis, that fades.
Was it strange to you to be in Nashville and trying to write there after your after being with Derek and the Dominoes and
Well, the
having,
only person I'd ever written a song with was Eric Clapton.
right?
And I was in Georgia doing pretty much nothing, living in a house outside of Atlanta and Marietta, Georgia, doing pretty much nothing, kind of waffling, raising a couple of kids, and just really had no direction. And then Philip and I got in touch, and he's from Ireland, okay, but so he back and forth to Nashville, and he's played on hundreds and hundreds of records in Nashville when he was doing this thing. But he said, Bobby, he said, have you ever come to Nashville? I said, I've had no reason to go to Nashville. I'm not a country artist, He said, he said, he's hooked up with Picklick, who's a publishing company. And Roger told me, Roger Cook. Now, Roger wrote, he's our good friend for many years now. But he wrote Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress, and You Got Your Troubles, I Got Mine, and Here Comes a Rainy Day Feeling Again.
The Coca-Cola song.
The Coca-Cola song, Like to Teach the World. He and Roger Greenaway, they were Jonathan and David. And Roger Greenaway now is the head of ASCAP in London, I believe. But they were a songwriting, an actual team that went out in the late 60s and early 70s. But Roger's a dear friend to this very moment, We spoke only a couple of days ago. But I don't know. So I have never written with anybody. And he was telling me that there are all these songwriters that were, and there's this whole thing. Well, I went, that's something I'd never explored. I'd never written with anybody other than Eric Clapton. And so I wanted to explore that aspect of my creative prowess. And so I figured I had everything to gain and nothing to lose. And so I went up to Nashville just to check things out. And we all hit it off right away, just like that. And we did a deal. I signed with the company, and oh, hell, it was a lot of fun. I learned an awful lot. I met a lot of songwriters. I got to write with a lot of different people. And I had my songs recorded by Tom Jones, Cher, George Jones, Johnny Rodriguez, and some other folks.
Ray Charles.
Huh?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. I mean, and that directly because I went there and made myself available. Right. And when I got there, of course, it was like everybody wanted me to play on their records and stuff and sessions, and I was, hell, I'm happy to do it. I've been doing nothing. Like 2 weeks ago, I wasn't doing anything with hanging around the house. And so, but the shine wore off on me being a studio musician in just about 2 weeks, Yeah, I couldn't read charts, still couldn't read charts, don't read music, but I know what to play when and what not to play. There was a guy, I met some great players that actually some guys that were, Reggie Young and Bobby Manuel, and some Gene Chrisman and Mike Leach, all were the American session musicians in Memphis.
Well, they played on your records.
Oh yeah, and so they played on my records, and I cut a bunch of
some that we have here on those 2-inch tapes.
Yeah. Bobby Woods.
The ones that got wet.
Not Bobby Manuel. He's another Bobby. But Bobby Woods, piano player, great player. And it's funny, I mean, Nashville is so diverse. Something happened, Bell Bottom Blues, all the news about Bell Bottom Blues, me getting my writer's credit, and then Eric recording it with the London Symphony and all this stuff. I got a call from Bobby Woods, and he said, "Hey man, would you like to get together and write?" Now, mind you, I haven't talked to this guy since 1983.
This was just recently, right?
Huh?
This was just recently.
Yeah, not long ago, a couple of years ago. And I said, "Oh hell, I'm in Austin." He said, "Oh, I thought you was in Nashville." No, but that's how it works. You know, they're like little cliques, and I got to meet and spend some time with. Sorry about the banging. Spend some time with the great Mickey Newberry.
Oh my God.
Wow, what an incredible singer, songwriter he was, and it's real fortunate to be able to do that. We met Tom Jones, and we went to see him. Roger Greenaway and I did, and he and I wrote some songs as well. So it was good to meet Tom Jones.
Yeah, well, Tom Jones did your song.
Yeah, he did a song Roger Greenaway and I
And
wrote
it's on
called This
YouTube.
Time.
You can find it.
Yeah, he recorded it and did several videos on it called This Time There Won't Be No Next Time.
How does it go?
Too many nights and too many days you tried to change me in too many ways. I gave you my best. You took what was left. Now there's nothing between me and you. But this time there won't be no next time. But yeah.
Yeah, it's great. To see him do that, it's really awesome.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. But a lot of opportunity. I met a lot of people, and I grew. You know, I grew in areas. I found out about things I didn't know anything about publishing or any that side of anything. You know, I didn't know about all that. You know, when I was with Eric and stuff, I didn't know about all the publishing stuff. Delaney wanted me to sign with his thing after we had recorded Layla. I said, "Sure," you know. He's my friend. I didn't know that, you know, what the publishing meant. I didn't know anything about any of that. And I didn't have anybody looking after, I didn't have a manager, anybody. My only friend was Eric Clapton, you know. And so I was just kind of going with the flow.
So what did Eric think when he found out you'd signed with Delaney on a...
He said he thought that was a mistake. I said, I imagine it was, you know, but it's all right, you know. That's old stuff, you know. I didn't know what I didn't know until I found out, and it's just another learning process, a step of learning along the way. I didn't get screwed out of my publishing. It went into a company that I would rather have not had their name on my records, you know, because it left a bad taste in my mouth knowing that I got done by my friend, you know, but that's all right. It's just money. It's gone. He's dead. You know, what can I say? The money still comes and goes. That's what it does. It's a medium. It's nothing tangible that you can hold on to.
Well, you know, you keep moving forward. You don't sit and think about all that stuff.
Why, hell no. No, I don't. I never think about all that stuff, period, until my memory banks get jogged and we're having to do something like this. We're doing one of our things and saying, what are we going to talk about? So I don't know, you know, but I know some pretty interesting stuff, you know, I do. And I have some real interesting things that happen to me pretty much on a daily basis. You know?
I can attest to that.
Yeah, there's never a dull moment. And it's not like I go out trying to create anything, because, I mean, it just seems to manifest itself, you know. Not bad.
Well,
know?
do you remember, do you have any outstanding memories of Nashville other than writing with people?
Well, you know.
Oh dear.
Well, the night that I was hanging out with Minnesota Fats, you see.
Right. Well, we did the Minnesota Fats story.
Well, that very night, I was still drinking and carrying on. Well, when I was headed home, it had been raining a little bit. I had a 55 Chevy with a 350 and full barrel, 4-speed, 411 positive traction rear end, and it would honk. Well, I pulled out of that big hotel downtown Nashville, and I was throwing it down, man. It does. Well, it looked like Christmas behind me, all of a sudden. But it had been raining. So I just kept going, I didn't think about stopping. Well, I went over the interstate and I was about 2 blocks from Maud's Courtyard, and they had a roadblock. And so there was 2 motorcycle cops that couldn't catch me. And cause it was in the rain, you see. And had I not been drinking, I wouldn't have done something, but I figured I was already done, so why not have some fun with it? I had a bag of weed with me in the car, and they have a roadblock down here right behind Maud's Courtyard. And turned out there was about 8 or 10 cars and cops involved in taking me downtown, But I had this guy that wrote a song, Bob House, he's a little fella. And he wrote this song, "May I Have His Last Dance for the Rest of My Life."
Yeah.
Murray song.
Yeah, right.
And he was with me, and he's real straight, And his eyes were about to be, oh, this is going down. I'm not even concerned about it at all. Cop says to me, he says, "You got anything? We're going to have to take you downtown, Mr. Whitlock." Bob told them who I was and all that, and they all knew about me and everything. He said, "We're going to have to take you downtown." And he said, "You got anything that you don't want to take with you?" I said, "Yeah, I got a bag of weed. I might want to not have that on me." And he said, "We're going to still stash it in your car. Come pick it up tomorrow, And I walked from the charges because nobody ever really clocked me speeding or anything because it was wet and nobody kept up with me. And yeah, it's a good thing I quit drinking and carrying on. Shit like that happens all the time when you're drinking and carrying on.
You've learned your lesson, I suppose.
That's it. It's over.